hello, this is an intro. We're watching Star Trek. We're watching Message in a Bottle with Andy Dick in it. And then the other one, the Hirogen. Hunters and
Yeah.
Prey. I assume that's like a two-parter sort of thing.
Sort of.
I don't know what happens in it at all, other than Hirogen are in them.
I've watched one of them recently.
I think one of them,
haven't.
Chakotay, goes on a ship
The funny
and
thing is, I
there's
can't
bones.
remember which one I've watched because they have similar titles.
Ah. So, okay. Thing about Message in a Bottle. Message in a Bottle is a really good episode, and I really like the EMH Mark II character. But it's a reverse Neelix situation where Neelix, the character of season 1 and 2 particularly, kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
The character is kind of trash, but the actor's lovely. Ethan Phillips is a great guy. Message in a Bottle, I really like the EMH Mark II character, but Andy Dick is trash.
I mean, that's a fair comparison, yeah.
He's a
get
reverse Neelix.
But I agree, I like the MH Mark II
Yeah.
in this episode.
We get all the witty banters. I particularly like that my breathing's just a simulation.
Yes.
Oh, my neck, stop it anyway.
I do like this episode.
One of my favorites of Voyager. It's 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Just a shame they
I'd say
cast
it's
Andy
probably
Dick.
in my top 10 Voyager episodes. For me.
Really, anything that's Doctor heavy is
Yeah, a
gonna
lot
be
of
up
the
there.
Doctor heavy episodes are pretty good. There's one or two that are exceptions to that.
What? Like what?
I can't remember the episode.
What about the one where he's possessed by an evil spirit and gets all weirdly jealous and protective of Kes?
Yeah, that one.
That one's fun.
It's okay, and I suppose.
And then 2 episodes later, Kes is possessed by an evil spirit.
Yeah, the writers do that sometimes.
Oh yeah, all the time.
They're like, oh, we
TNG.
haven't done a.
We haven't
I
done
like
what?
how TNG. What?
You said we haven't done ...
Oh, right. No, I was going to say something about TNG. Yeah, so TNG, they would do like they would take a character and they were like, let's write a story about this character, and then they'd be like, oh wait, we want to write another story about this character. So you'd get like 3 episodes of one character, and they disappear for like the rest of the season because they wouldn't be a main character.
We're
for the
done
rest
with
of the season.
them. We said all we want to about Dr. Crusher. Why do we need her now?
Yeah, so they
Get her
would
outta
do
here.
a whole bunch of Dr. Crusher, they'd do a whole bunch of Geordie, they'd even do like recurring characters. They'd bring them in for 3 straight episodes, and then just like O'Brien, they'd bring him in for 3 straight episodes and then throw him away. I remember that for season 5. You've got Disaster and a couple other ones around it. That had a lot of O'Brien and Keiko, and you had a lot of Ensign Rowe, and then they just disappear again.
Well, Ensign Rowe disappeared for a lore reason, kind of. They sent her to school.
Yeah, well.
The same way they got rid of Wesley Crusher.
Yeah, I've just watched that episode again.
First duty?
No, the one where he was sent to Starfleet Academy.
With Webbed Finger Angry Man.
Yeah, where they crash on the planet.
Oh, no, that's a different one. There are multiple episodes about Wesley and Starfleet Academy, but
yes, the first time he was sent. Yes, the desert planet one with the dude that had the shuttle.
Bilby.
That was
It was
bad.
Bilby
Crap.
from DS9.
Yes, I think it was. Was it?
Also, it was. But also, press play on Message in a Bottle in 4, 3, 2, 1. Play. Blur. All right.
Okay, a captain's log? No? No?
Nah.
Okay.
Voyager doesn't do those so much.
No, they
Occasionally,
don't.
but
That's true. It felt like that kind of start, if you know what I mean.
yeah. Also, yeah, it's getting progressively more clear that this actress is pregnant with like a Damar's baby.
Yeah,
Not in canon, so they're trying to work around it.
yeah.
That's okay. She's doing her job.
And this is the start of, well, not the start of, but a part of the whole B'Elanna doesn't like 7 of 9 thing.
Yeah, you are B'Elanna. Jesus, you're an officer. Yeah, see? Even Chakotay gets it. And
I know
not
you're
with
half
punching.
Klingon, but that doesn't give you an excuse to just punch all the crewmen you don't like.
Assaulting people is part of my religion. I should get an exemption.
Mm.
Yeah, we can't tell because it's only like 240p. God, look how
Now,
smug
the
Seven
way
looks.
7 sets this up and then immediately goes to intro is like, thanks, 7. You didn't actually say how far away it was, right?
Well, it's on sensors, so it's gotta be just like right there, right?
Yeah, so Janeway's like suddenly thinking that, oh,
My
Starfleet's
god.
managed to get a ship all the way out here and we can get home. And then Seven's going to say, oh, no, sorry, it's still 60,000 light years away.
I just took a pretty
Um,
picture of it.
you did?
7?
Mm.
Wait, was that the Prometheus, though? Because I don't
Yes,
think the Prometheus... Does the Prometheus have 4 nacelles? I don't remember it having 4.
it does. It does have 4 nacelles. And it actually has 6. But 2 of them are built into the hull and the other 4
Ah,
are not.
okay.
I don't know about. I think the ones that are built into the hull are warp sustainers rather than warp nacelles, or they might be nacelles. I don't know. I think they're nacelles because I think all 3 pieces can go at warp properly.
What? Are we sure it's beneficial for this ship to split into 3 pieces? Are we sure about that? I'm not convinced
Uh,
that would help.
it does it in this episode.
I know it does, but like if they were actually designing a starship, like, are we sure?
Look, the only ships that actually split into pieces are the that do it on screen, I should say, because lots of people will get angry if I state this as anything other than that. I believe are the Galaxy class and the Prometheus, right?
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
I don't think anything else does it on screen. I know that there were plans for the A to do it, the refit to do it, and I think I've seen a concept of the Sovereign doing it too.
Oh,
Um,
there's some separation events. Not exactly a saucer, because they don't really do those anymore, but there's some separation events in Discovery.
okay,
Season 3
that
or 4.
that doesn't count
Why doesn't it count? The Prometheus isn't
because
a saucer
it's
separation.
no, it's not. But okay, fine. In this century, this era of Starfleet, because Discovery season 3 and 4 are not, you know, the same time at all.
I have no idea what
Very
you're trying to
different
say there.
design philosophies. The Discovery season 3 and 4 have very different design philosophies from
Yes.
now because it's the far distant future.
Everyone make sure your own video's queued up. I ain't showing you the episode. You gotta get your own copy.
Yeah, remember to ask him why you can't hear anything in about 20 minutes. Why it's blurry as well.
Do you think Janeway gets flashbacks to her old life whenever she says the word Mark in her directions?
Mm,
Oh, she doesn't know her fiance has moved on and abandoned her. Well, I mean,
nope.
not abandoned.
No, she doesn't. Does that happen in this episode?
Maybe.
How far into season 4 are we?
This is like, I don't know, just over halfway.
Okay.
This is episode 14, and they're usually 26 episode seasons.
Also, Seven here is doing a really good job of pointing out how the Doctor could effectively communicate to the crew from sick bay. She isn't on the bridge right now and doing her job, but communicating very effectively with the bridge crew.
Borg efficiency. Balana, why don't you zip up your uniform? Boy, I hope that ship has holographic emitters. This ship design we've never
Does
seen before.
does the Doctor have
He's not taking his mobile emitter with him.
no. I know he can't do that. Does he have the ability to turn himself on and off yet?
Yes.
Okay. That's rather important.
Well,
I
I don't
know
know
they
about
said
turn
they're gonna
himself
turn him
on,
on.
but he can turn himself off.
Oh. Well, that's not overly helpful. Um
Well, because people kept leaving sickbay and left him running. It's like, come on, you gotta shut down your computer when you're stepping away.
yeah.
He wasn't happy about it. He missed his void.
The Doctor just dies. This is the last time we see him.
Oh yeah, where did the emitter go? Because he had to have the emitter in there. But it didn't click
Yeah,
clack to the
it just fell
floor.
on the floor.
But it
Just yeah,
didn't,
it just
though.
fell on the floor.
There was nothing there.
No, Doctor, there's no one there.
I feel
Nice.
like we reused this set for aliens later.
Mm,
But with a different paint job.
not too much different though.
Do we use this set in the episode where the doctor goes to that fancy hospital? Well, the top level is fancy, but the bottom level's like a
Yeah,
slum.
I wouldn't be surprised if that was the set. Hey, look, it's a dead person.
Wow. How did you not notice them before, Doctor? You're terrible at your job. Literally, your one thing is to help injured people.
And another one. Well, that one's not
I
quite
think
dead
he'd
yet.
be like a walking tricorder, medical tricorder, you know, scanning constantly. Oh, he revived him just so he
Yeah,
could
so
die.
he can suffer in his last moments. Romulans! Okay,
Critical
Doctor, just
care.
think.
Dead.
What would Janeway do?
Yes, what would Janeway do? She would activate the
Destroy the
self-destruct
ship.
sequence right now.
Yes.
Right now.
I don't think he has the authority to do that, but he could, like, make his way to the warp core with a phaser.
He doesn't know he can make his way to the warp core yet.
True.
The episode was critical care, and I'm looking at the pictures.
Back in a second.
Specifically the fancy part of the hospital with the rich people.
Post.
Computer, open all the doors. Multi-vector assault mode? That's a nebula? Is that what that ship class is called with the galaxy saucer?
Yeah. Nebula.
Yeah, I feel like well, this all hinges on what clearance level the Doctor has. Because if possible, it would be really great if he could just transport the Romulans into space, or just into the
Look,
brig,
there it is.
or
It's splitting
ideally
into
into
three
space.
pieces.
But why?
Because it can.
Who designed
The
this ship?
Romulans think that's useful.
Cisco would never design something like this.
No, but that's because Cisco likes putting too much power into too small of a space.
So each section would need its own sickbay and its own EMH.
That's a good point. Poor Nebula class.
I'm just concerned that if the parts are all combined, they'll have one really strong shield, but if they're separated, they'll just have third power and just a torpedo kill them. Because depending on what episode you're watching, one torpedo can bring you down to like 20% or 90% or fully gone or 50%. It's just sketchy.
The Doctor's so confused.
Okay, so he doesn't have clearance for anything.
No, because he's an unregistered holographic program.
Oh, you scared her. Poison him. Kill the Romulan. Is it just me? It's hard to tell with the blurriness of the low resolution. But is that some green bruising on the Romulan's face?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Very fancy.
Green bruising because they have green blood.
Those green-blooded hobgoblins. It was a bold choice of Gene Roddenberry to make the Doctor explicitly racist to the first officer in every single episode.
Yes.
There's a lot of racism in TOS against Vulcans.
Oh, there's a Prometheus
Also in
episode?
Enterprise. What? What's up?
The Prometheus?
Yeah, with Andy
Great.
Dick.
Great. Who's Andy Dick? I mean, I've seen him in a comedy thing, but
Andy Dick is a comedy actor who has also done a lot of sexual assault and regular assault and flashing people in real life.
Yeah.
So he's not
Yeah.
great.
He's living up to his name.
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty sure
remember.
there's a drug addiction in there too. I don't know what drug though.
I think it was a Comedy Central roast that like they were roasting somebody else, but all the jokes were about Andy Dick. Um, so he's the butt of all the jokes, actually.
So yes, as I said at the very beginning of the stream, he's a reverse Neelix. Neelix's character is insufferable, but the actor is cool. Andy Dick's character is cool, but the actor is awful. Not awful at acting, just
Is
awful
is
at
his
being a
character cool
person.
though?
He's enjoyable to watch, I should say.
I don't know.
Hey Robo, hey Orcos, hey ET.
What's up?
Happy Voyager watch along Sundays.
Yes.
Then what's the point of the protocol, dude? That's exactly what the protocol said. Doctor's a
I
loose
think
cannon, doesn't play by the rules.
I think since it was such a new idea, and maybe like Starfleet Medical Union had something to say about it, like they didn't want doctors replacing them. For example, like I live in New York, and you could have automated subway trains going, but the thing is that it's a lot easier than doing it for automated cars. But the union is like, well, that would displace our jobs, so you don't get to have AI drivers, conductors.
We've tried the automated train system in London with some of the smaller
Lines,
lines.
routes, yeah.
It's quite
Yeah,
cool. I've been on a
there-
couple.
there's a route that's just like 4 blocks across from Manhattan. So like one side of Times Square to the other, the S train for shuttle, and that was on the this platform for AI.
The
So Andy Dick apparently
call it-
talks during movies. Yeah, that seems legit. People who talk during like TV shows and movies. Yeah, they're the worst. Who would do that? Disgusting.
mm,
But so
Just transport them
like
into space, Andy.
especially for medical stuff, if something isn't proven to be sustainable long term, you can't just issue a thing which allows for it.
yeah. I mean, so like the way we've done a thing in
Mhm,
London is they call it the Docklands Light Railway. It's like an overground one that goes along the river, essentially. And
mhm.
that's entirely automated now, which is pretty cool. But
Oh
they
wow.
still put people on them, like staff on them to like monitor things and check tickets and make sure people are following the rules, that kind of thing. But there's no actual driver of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's an airport internal train here at JFK Airport, and that's like there's no driver.
Isn't
Nice.
It's
that
just a loop.
dangerous? What if the train becomes self-aware?
It's just a loop.
What if it starts
Well,
looking for new vertiform city and just speeds along the track full speed, never lets anyone off until it
takes off
blows
on the
up?
runway.
Something really cool in Westworld when they showed the characters are on like 19th century trains. You put the train car on the back of a truck, and the truck is driving along the highway, and that's how you film like a moving train these days in film and cinema.
Mm,
One of my favorite train simulation stories is in Fallout 3. I'm sure some of you know this. They needed
yeah.
a train sequence, but they didn't have a train system in the game. So what they did is they just made a train interior a hat, attach it to the character's head, and tell him to run.
Yeah.
Just give them a train hat. That's all you need. It's fine. See, Mark. 192 Mark 6.
What?
It would be very funny if well it would be it wouldn't actually be funny. The writers would think it would be funny to write in a joke of like Tuvok every time she says Mark in that context saying, Captain, you didn't say on my mark for the next order or something along those lines. If you get what I mean.
Neelix, what have you done?
Wait, she was talking about writing a letter to her spouse, Mark.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the joke.
Yeah.
Her
So the thing is,
fiance
though-
and not her fiance anymore.
Yeah,
Oh.
but like once every 3 seasons, she pretends to think of Mark. That's nice.
Yes, you do, Neelix.
Here he goes, poisoning crew again. He's like a reverse Andy Dick. His character.
How many times?
What? Wait, did you just say rodeo?
Yes.
It's not.
Yes, Orodale Reds.
Jesus Christ.
It sounds better that way though when you say the full thing.
Mm,
Have you guys ever been to rodeo?
it's not my first time at the rodeo.
Yeah, I'm gonna start saying it that way now forever.
Right, Neelix.
But I come from a non-pork eating culture. So I knew the word raccoon when I was like in 3rd grade, but I didn't know the word bacon. So I said baccoon because like what else does that look like? And
Did you see the subtitles when he said
Bacon doesn't have a double
jalapeno?
O.
I think that was on purpose.
Chilapinos.
Yeah, I think that was on purpose because he doesn't know how to actually say it. But yes.
Jalapenos?
Jalapeno.
this was a really good
Yeah, jalapenos are alright.
comedy
Not
episode.
totally convinced by
because
the flavor.
We went through a lot. We went through like Neelix dying. I know everybody thinks it's a good thing, but that was actually like a very, PTSD out of body experience.
Yeah, don't
life
worry though. He's
support.
gotten over it. He's fine now.
Jalapenos won me over, but then my stomach was like, no, never again.
The ethics of keeping someone on life support or bringing someone
Wait,
back.
Wait. He just said all primary systems have been rerouted to the bridge. Where were they before? What do you mean rerouted? Aren't they supposed to be on the bridge? That's what the bridge is for.
Well, I think they've routed them entirely to the bridge. if that makes
Controls
sense.
the primary systems, I think is what's meant. Basically, they just gave, full super user permissions to the bridge.
My
is
god,
how,
the bridge can run primary systems as admin.
Yeah.
Now,
This is a great episode.
Okay. Based on what we know about Andy Dick, this conversation is slightly more uncomfortable. Don't give him those subroutines. He
See
doesn't
that
need
thing he's
them.
holding? Are those cylinders stuck together, or is he just holding them together? I think they're stuck together.
Yeah,
I
think
didn't
they're
know that
glued
5
together.
Romulans constituted a swarm.
They seem welded together.
Oh, maybe not. They're like sliding up and down a little bit.
What?
There must be like a rubber band connecting those 3 cylinders together.
But why are there hollow emitters in the Jeffries tube? I guess if someone like falls down the ladder.
Yeah.
That's a big Jeffries tube, though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a luxury Jeffries.
But it's also like in line with the deck rather than in between the 2 decks, which is a bit weird.
I like how when you pushed the lever down, it only went down a little bit and got caught. It's like wonky.
I have a problem with this part of the episode.
What would that be?
So he goes and does these scans, and then he checks the tricorder to see if he's actually done any scans, and then says, "But you haven't taken any readings." Why didn't he just take readings?
Mm.
He's a
Plot
doctor,
device.
not a commando.
So You see that like bar at the bottom? Is that to like let you know the screen hasn't crashed, like with loading bars and things?
I guess, because, yeah, the Enterprise D has that too. Except it's
Yeah, it does.
orange. It's
This
just
looks like
interior
You're about
design.
to get poked by a bomb.
the Excelsior Bridge or the TOS Enterprise Bridge.
See, why wasn't he taking any readings?
He's just,
He's
I
unfamiliar
don't
with this
know.
newfangled tricorder version 5. He likes his jalapenos.
I don't think I would want to order chicken from Neelix. I feel like it would be undercooked.
Oh yeah, you get so much food
Yeah,
poisoning.
don't eat chicken.
But
from
then
Neelix.
that's
already-
okay,
In
right?
fact,
Because it's not going to have salmonella out of the replicator.
Yeah, but he
I'd be
likes
the
fresh
person to
food.
go up to Neelix and say, Neelix, can I have this very specific thing that I know he won't know, so he has to go and replicate it?
Yeah.
Like
But
I
then you
was
have to use your replicator rations, and that means they have to acknowledge they're stranded in deep space.
I'll use all of my replicator rations rather than eat Neelix's food.
y-
Then
yeah,
you
but
can't
you'll be-
trade for holodeck hours.
you'll be losing weight too.
Or you could just go onto the holodeck and eat food there, because apparently that doesn't follow the same rules.
Yeah, it has infinite
it's-
power.
Yeah.
So when you walk off the holodeck, the food just dissipates out of your stomach.
Yeah, you have to stay in the holodeck long enough to fully digest it.
It's perfect for
And then
stress
and
eating.
it's fine. Yes.
You go to the holodeck,
Bring back
eat
the silver
all
cat
you
suit.
want, and just leave.
I guess it would be like, you know how the holodeck is like technically not like in the lore. It's like, oh, it's not a replicator, but like basically it is. You could just have like the edible things be actual replicated items.
Well,
That is how
was
it
the
actually is
theory.
supposed to work.
But
That
then
was
when
the
like you turn
theory.
the holodeck off, you just have like a bunch of food that slaps onto the ground.
Well, you recycle it at the same time. Just gotta be careful not to
So
accidentally
some of the
recycle
holodeck is actual
the
holograms, and the rest
actual
of it's
people.
replicated stuff.
Like how
Um,
when they're shutting off the holodeck, like all the people disappear and then the background disappears. So in the shutdown sequence, they first dematerialize all the real stuff, like all the food, and then shut down the rest of it.
Which would make sense.
And what if it malfunctions
And obviously,
and
and we
dematerializes
know that
crew
replicators
members?
can like
Well,
undo because people put the food back in the replicators, and then it goes back into energy. So that is a thing.
It's weird that Balana's the
she's-
one being all hung up about please and thank you, because like
She's
the Klingons
painfully-
is like Klingon culture is I don't think Emily Post was taught by her Klingon mother.
but she's not.
She's
Well, she wasn't raised by her Klingon mother, and she's not a Worf. She's not a Klingon weeb.
Okay,
She
I'm
was
sure
raised by
7 of
humans
9
on
is
Earth.
Alana's
painfully
problem is
aware
she's got very
they're
little
not
self-awareness.
drones. They're very inefficient.
It's not your technology. Your technology is trash. You just found it.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They don't even have replicators.
I think they were used to be like a big, amazing culture, but now they're just like plebs,
Who?
space plebs.
Hirogen.
Hirogen.
Mm.
Space nomads.
He's a hologram. What does he care? This is the second time we've gotten a line like that. The first was from Spock in TNG, which is
Yes.
a weird sentence. But when Sela Tasha Yar was like, "Oh, if you don't tell us, we'll kill you," it's like, "You'll kill me anyway." So no.
Yeah.
What's the point? He phrased it more, Spocky, but you get it.
Like, keeping the information to yourself is the only thing keeping you alive. Why would you talk? Just a subroutine, not a whole program.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine.
What class is the Prometheus?
Prometheus class.
Thank you. Because it looked like the Sovereign class was on the Master Systems display on the bridge, but obviously it's kind of modified.
Yeah, it's just
No,
that the first ship of each class is the name of the class.
Yeah.
usually,
USS
yeah.
Galaxy, USS Constitution.
Defiant.
Ah, yes, the Defiant
Yeah,
class,
but
USS Sao Paulo. Got rid of
the
that
arrowhead
immediately.
shape of the Prometheus is really exaggerated. They took Voyager and they're just like, make it
Point D,
more
Voyager.
everything pointy. Yeah, and then the little tiny nacelles that pop out when top section is separate is just silly.
So this should actually become
They're like
policy, though. They
runabout
should
size
100%
nacelles.
have holographic commandos. They can just beam onto ships.
Yeah.
In fact, they shouldn't have to beam them on. It should just be a standard program.
I think that Starfleet probably have avoided that because they know that as soon as they create it, someone's going to try and steal it and use it.
As soon as they create it, the holograms are going to go crazy and take over the ship themselves.
They might do that as well. They do have a bit of a history.
Why did he talk about himself in the third person? Like, they didn't get rid of the grandiose sense of self in the Mark II.
Well, it was programmed by the same guy, so. Though this is in the era where. What's his name? Zimmerman. Is in all his like self-doubt, like, they hated my program, so he doesn't make it look like himself anymore because he's, ashamed.
Gotcha.
Gonna fake us out, make us look like they're in space. Heck, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
how did the Prometheus get here again?
It's
So
not
was it
in the Delta
automated?
Quadrant. It's just hanging out in the Alpha Quadrant, and they.
Yeah, no,
sent
but
it
like 4 people in Starfleet are trained to use it. It's on the edge of the Alpha Quadrant or something. So how's it? Why is it here again?
It's just a shakedown run, I guess. They just wanted to see how fast it could go. I don't know.
that's true, though. You would think, like, a B-52 bomber, or what is that, Blackbird, the SR-71, it would be escorted by fighter planes when it goes on a trial run. There's no way anyone could just intercept that.
Yeah, Bashir doesn't get an EMH program because he's an augment. Disgusting. But Dr. Bashir was supposed to be. So, Andy Dick is EMH Mark II. Bashir was supposed to be the LMH, the long-term medical hologram. So we never see that again, so I guess they just scrapped it? Or the writers forgot? The writers probably forgot.
Well, EMH Mark 1 is used in Star Trek First Contact, so, I mean, it's a successful design.
Beep, beep, beep,
I mean,
beep,
that
beep.
was more because Robert Picardo kept bugging the producers, but...
Okay. It was a good comedic scene because...
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
Beep, 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 beep.
How can you
Other
stop a
beep, beep,
warp
beep.
core overload that easily?
He's good at his job.
Because he started it in a very simple way, so it must end in a very simple way.
Yes, that must be how the world works.
Frickin' birds. What's with all the birds in Star Trek?
I think you'll learn like
Bird.
the 13,000 different tones that the machines do at you in when you're on the ship. So they were all beep beep beep, but just different.
It's like when you steal someone's Wi-Fi, and they're like, "Can you like not hijack my?"
Kill him.
7, what are you doing?
Yes. I think 7 is a Sith Lord. We'll shock him again.
Yes, but 7, you didn't kill him, which means now he's going to be even more angry.
Yeah.
Are we gonna reprimand her at all for... Okay.
No,
No, it's
No.
fine.
we're all fine.
This is a case
Straight to
of
the brig.
Starfleet only cares if it doesn't get them what they want.
And now Balana's like okay with that.
Do they ever have Balana use the tools in her jacket pocket?
No.
No.
They're just there for decoration. They don't actually do anything.
I was gonna
What
say
engineers wear instead of jewelry.
I was watching the last 3 episodes that we watched already last week. And Harry's worst nightmare is like actually being successful with a girl.
Hey, in that one episode where the Doctor's backup module is found on a planet in an archaeological site, why don't they just use that?
Leonard McCoy wrote a book on alien physiology.
Of course he did.
All right. Well, in Star Trek 6,
Fan service.
they find him guilty, and he says, "I didn't have the knowledge I needed of Klingon anatomy to save the Chancellor."
Yeah, but
That's why he wrote
he's
the
got
book.
like a
Him
whole
to
60,
decide
70
to
years of
then-
life left.
Okay, sorry.
He just wrote it later. Don't worry
that
about it.
incident prompted him to
Sorry,
want to
right on
learn
the
more
JR.
about
But he
alien
didn't-
physiology.
He didn't know Klingons then because the Klingons
enemies.
weren't allies. Yeah, so he might have known other aliens, just not Klingons
Like
Okay.
Vulcans.
and Andorians and Tellarites.
Everybody but.
Yes, clearly this is what Louis Zimmerman did. This was the whole project. Just tell the computer to create a doctor and give him knowledge. That's all you need. Do you guys remember all the organelles? What each goes to, what each does? Other than the mitochondria. We all know the mitochondria.
The mitochondria does the power.
It's the warp core of the cell.
Yeah. It manufactures
Doctor had a warp core
ATC.
overload.
which is like a sugar or something.
How is it too much data? It's a text, right? It's gonna be like 2 megabytes.
No, it was the entirety of the medical database.
Okay, it's gonna be like 30 megabytes. It's just text, right? It's fine.
No, I think the entirety of Starfleet's medical database is probably quite large.
He says in another
It's got pictures in it too.
episode, I have instantaneous. No, that's the one where they kidnapped the ship's computer. Ship's computer has instantaneous access to 29 million records. Simultaneous access.
Nice.
That's the Da Vinci episode.
Wikipedia without pictures is 21 gigabytes.
That's a lot, but English Wikipedia is by far the largest. Well, they have English Wikipedia.
How big is it with pictures?
Well, that changes every day.
Doc, what are you doing, man? You can't ask the doctor to oh, Jesus. The doctor can't identify himself. Oh, subtitles were wrong, but they're not official subtitles, so who cares? Sub-Commander Almar. I've created holographic doctors before. So what happened with this one?
I thought the premise of this episode was really great because it's like you should be able to send the doctor's program through a fiber optic network.
Yes, well done, Robert. That's some good acting. Oh, Defiance. There are 2 Defiance there.
Yeah, a whole 2. I wonder if one of them is the Defiant.
2 Defiance and an Akira. Well, I assume... I'm like 99% sure if we could zoom in on one of them and enhance, they would both say Defiant
It
on
probably
them.
says Defiant. Yeah.
And then I didn't realize in this episode that Voyager with like that Intrepid class with 4 nacelles, it was going off the motif of TNG All Good Things, where the Galaxy class had 3 nacelles.
So how many
Doctor,
Defiants
press
do
the
we
big red
have?
button.
We have the Defiant, we have the Sao Paulo, we have
Reliant.
the
Valiant.
we have the Valiant.
Sorry.
And
then these 2.
Is one of them the Sao Paulo? Is one
I
of
do
them
like this moment.
the wrong ship? Good job, Andy. One more assault charge to add on. No, Andy, you don't get to say that.
I mean, in the context of the episode, it's hilarious because one hologram's jealous of another that like he has a sex subroutine, and like the other one doesn't. It's like
The
where did
Koreans
you?
have to expect the room to separate.
It would be quite funny if the room separated. The bridge just pops off the top of the Prometheus.
Seems like a good plan to me.
All right, so we have the incompetent brigade winning the day.
But why did the Romulans stop firing?
Because one got
They
destroyed.
didn't want to get blowed up.
It's sometimes you just want to be recognized for your talents, even if you're a gup.
God, I can hear the thoughts of those 2 officers. Like, God, just freaking
Right,
holograms.
Just shut up.
You're like, no, there's 2 of them. Oh god. An experimental Doctor
Has the Hirogen not
hologram
woken
and-
up yet?
Yeah, probably not. He was very
They had to keep
sleepy.
buzzing.
Hey, from the prior episode, how again did that alien get the mobile emitter and then put Da Vinci's program on it?
He just transported
They
the
beamed a whole
emitter
bunch of
and the...
stuff off of the ship.
Okay.
He got the
Um,
emitter and the computer core.
And
good.
like beamed off a hologram, which is weird.
Yeah, he wouldn't take the EMH. He took Leonardo. This was really good news. Like, this was an optimistic episode. Because remember, we had, the Raven, and then we had Neelix dying. And I know, again. And then we have the Year of Hell.
I'm thinking for like the first officer and the chief medical officer, they go to their families like, good news. Voyager's actually fine. They're just far away. Bad news. Your specific family member died immediately.
Yeah. The real first officer.
No, there's a computer program LARPing as
It
your
would have been-
husband.
It would have been more funny if the doctor said, "Oh, they asked me to relay a message," and the captain's like, "Yes," and it's like, "Oh, by the way, Mark's married to another person now." Like that's all.
Yeah.
That's all the information.
No,
you need
it
to
would,
look
be, it would be like, look, bad news. Voyager is still alive.
They're like,
Good news.
"Oh,
Your fiance
can't
is
get rid of
happy
that
without
Janeway."
you.
at. Also, he didn't mention the Dominion War, which has killed like millions of Federation citizens. And that
They
kind of
did
thing.
mention the Dominion War in the episode.
They mentioned the Dominion War in the episode, but he didn't mention the Dominion War to the captain because
Oh,
they were trying to be
you just
optimistic.
don't want them to be happy, eh? You just want it to be like awful.
A year
Yes.
later, the doctor's like, "Oh, did I forget to mention that part?" Well, you know.
I mean, but Lana brings it up later, right? Like that all the Maquis are slaughtered.
Yeah, when they
Yeah.
get letters from the. In fact, that might be in the next episode.
Also, 1 minute to Hunters.
Yeah.
That's
So,
the episode where
They're
Tuvok
gonna get
gets
news.
like hypnotized into just killing the Maquis. No. He reprograms the Maquis. That's what he does.
That was really depressing because it's like, years later you find out all your comrades are dead.
Good job, Dominion.
Yeah.
Very efficient. Cardassians couldn't beat them for years. Dominion came in and wiped them out in like a day.
Yeah. And it's actually really cool that they intertwined DS9 with Voyager a bit in a couple different times, because like Voyager doesn't hear about the news until much later, but
Right.
it's quite
And-
cool that they do actually combine the stories a bit.
All right,
yeah.
everybody get ready to press play on Hunters in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
They wear TNG uniforms in Voyager to keep that discontinuity intact.
Well, not quite TNG, but
Early DS9.
the interim uniforms.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's way similar to TNG uniforms.
I don't remember this scene.
There we go. See, they've sent a message already.
Why does Harry have to do everything?
Because that's his only chance of ever getting a girlfriend. Getting back home to the Alpha Quadrant.
Oh yeah, how's Libby? Did we get a letter from Libby? I don't think we ever hear about her again.
The Cosmo episode has him like with the girl, right? Like almost married.
It's lodged in a relay station like it's
It sounds like
plumbing.
they threw a letter at like, 9.999. It hit a station, got lodged into it.
Surely the fastest this information could travel through this network is light speed.
No, it
because
travels through
is
subspace.
special.
It's fine.
Subspace is special.
There's also quantum entanglement.
Don't give me that quantum entanglement mumbo jumbo.
They
Do you
won
think
a
they
Nobel
even need
Prize.
those masks, or are they just trying to make themselves sound edgy?
Well, they can walk on suns.
It's because they're
That
Bane.
doesn't sound accurate.
They want to look like Bane.
No, I mean one of them brags about how he walked on the sun to like kill something.
He's definitely lying, because there are so many reasons you can't do that.
I mean, he did it.
If you were a
I
white
feel like
man,
maybe
why
we
would he
don't
brag
trust the
about it if he
Hirogen.
didn't do it?
That doesn't sound legit.
It's because you can't walk on the sun.
How would you even do? It's made of plasma.
Some kind of
Nuclear
Herodian technology, you know.
nuclear fusion is happening every second, like millions of times on the surface.
Yeah, but they're built different.
Okay. Solar flares would cook you with just the electromagnetic radiation.
But he did say he did it.
Okay.
Did the Herodian ever meet 8472?
Oh yeah. Oh, we have a whole episode about it.
Do we?
They hunt them
Oh yeah,
down.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think it ends well for the Herodian.
Spoilers.
Hey, speaking of sorry, I saw
Nothing
Tim
ends
Russ
well
on
for
this
the
one.
Herodian. They're a trash species.
In the episode where they let Balana's mind get erased for a crime like she
Yeah, the
didn't even do.
lobotomy.
Yeah.
Head
Tim
empty.
Russ, you know, like Tupac is having a discussion with the security chief on that planet, and she's like, "Why do you have a brig?" Like she didn't understand the concept of like keeping somebody incarcerated, and she's like, you know, like, and Tupac says, "Well, if everyone was as enlightened as your species and mine, we wouldn't need prisons." But like Cybok is clearly in a prison, because he's too deviant from the
But
Tupac
it's
philosophy.
a space prison. It's like Vulcan, New Zealand. It doesn't even count.
Yeah, but Tupac
It's
acts like
not a
Vulcans
prison.
don't
It's
do
a
crime.
rehabilitation center.
There's plenty of Vulcans that do crime. He doesn't need to act like crime is absent from Vulcan.
What even was Cybok's crime? Wasn't he just illogical?
Yeah.
Wasn't his crime just having emotion?
He
What
he
did
was
he
in touch with
do?
he was in touch with his passions, and he was teaching that as a philosophy, which is pretty totalitarian.
There's got to be something more than that. I don't know what it is, but he's got to have actually done something.
Passion. He was having a cult of passion.
Cybok rejected his logical upbringing and chose to embrace emotion like his ancestors, believing the key to self-knowledge was emotion, not logic. When Cybok encouraged others to follow him, he was banished never to return. So yeah, he just had emotion.
But that says he was banished. I'm pretty sure he was in prison.
Yeah, both. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Oh
I
no,
can never figure out
erythrocytes.
how they did her hair like that.
Hairspray.
But it's like tucked into the back. And I love how they left a little bit of the Borg implant on her cheek, just because you have to leave some sign of her past. Freaky looking enough.
Don't by the end of the show they actually like reach the beta quadrant, but they never mention it? Because they jump tens of thousands of light years at a time.
Well,
It's
te-
weird. So they never actually properly explain where the different quadrants are. But
Yeah.
there's some maps that show the alpha quadrant is actually on the right-hand side below the delta quadrant, and the rest of the maps show the alpha quadrant on the left-hand side under
Right.
the beta, under the
And then
gamma quadrant.
Earth is in beta quadrant by some
Yeah, Earth's in the beta quadrant, which
by
doesn't make
some
any sense.
maps. So, you know, we would think
I
that.
think they get about halfway or something.
Yeah, it's dead on the center line, like the prime meridian between alpha and beta quadrant.
Yeah,
in
Earth's
another
like
map.
pretty much on the center. But it's weird that they say, of course, the alpha quadrant on most maps, the alpha quadrant is further away, where like Deep Space Nine is and that kind of stuff. But it's not
Yeah.
where
Deep Space Nine.
majority of the Federation.
Deep Space Nine presented it as though all of the Federation was inside Alpha Quadrant.
Yeah.
And not to mention all of our rivals, the Klingons, Romulans, Gorn.
I think the Romulans are in beta, aren't they?
Yes.
Yeah, but they're in Alpha Quadrant power.
Yeah,
Clearly.
which is just confusing.
What is that? Oh my god. You know what? That is actually just the Hirogen makeup prosthetic without a person in it.
Disgusting.
That's just the rubber forehead they put on a table.
Wait, did they find this in space?
Yeah, it was on the ship. I have seen this before in the makeup room before our shooting.
I like how they logged that a body was destroyed in this fashion, and then there was it. The Borg are satisfied with that.
It was irrelevant.
They're just like, whatever.
It's chill.
You think it'd be in their nature to figure out how more drones shouldn't be getting destroyed? But no.
It might be more efficient.
Oh, is that the caretaker's array?
Oh, does it, Tom? Does it really?
But
Look
you know,
at the picture of the caretaker. It is the caretaker's array, but it has a couple of
is-
like spikes glued on.
It's a kit bash array.
it also is a Federation outpost sometimes. But Seven says in the prior episode that the Borg refused to assimilate the Kazon because their biological and technological distinctiveness would add nothing to their collective.
God. Chakotay, have you heard of the Romulans? He's so impressed by the singularity. It's like we
We know this already. But, you know,
every single Romulan ship, Chakotay.
all of them.
Also, that's not how black holes work, but whatever. It's sci-fi. Don't worry about it.
Well, the amazing thing is that, like Stephen Hawking said, that if you put any information in a black hole, it's not completely destroyed, even though you think everything's destroyed in a black hole, and therefore,
Can't get it.
since matter, like even since like the molecules in my body are information, if you put me in a black hole, you would be able to like take out the information somehow on the other end and like recreate me if you had all the information.
That there are multiple things
I don't volunteer for that.
I have
by the way.
concerns with about that sentence.
I'm pretty sure I'd
It'll
be.
be perfect for this scene if they got Rick rolled. Or they were looking at the screen.
That would have
It's
been
just
brilliant.
coming out in bits and pieces. Never gonna.
Up.
But information is never destroyed in a black hole. That's what Stephen Hawking's PhD thesis was, or something.
I mean, functionally, for us, it is because we can't get it.
Yeah, for sure.
All
I'd
we
be
need is a big Ethernet cable.
Yeah, and turn the pancake back into a person. A pancake 1 atom thick.
It doesn't.
It's just the trap.
It's a trap.
I don't think this is the trap. I think that's later. I think this is just sending thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the well, guys, you're quite far away, so
Oh,
yeah,
sucks to be
keep
you.
going.
So we've all decided to marry other people. It doesn't matter.
Keep at
No,
it,
but it's-
guys.
It's more like the postman, like 30 years later, delivering that piece of mail that was addressed to the person. We'll get it along. There's a movie called The Postman. It shows like a post-collapse United States. So like even 100 years after the country ended, a guy finds a mailbag and just makes it his life's duty to like deliver mail from like 100 years ago. And that's set in
We're
the
gonna
future.
learn about the Maquis.
Uh-oh. So everybody you've ever loved is DED
Dead.
dead.
Murdered by the Dominion. Good job, Dominion.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no reason for you to go home because everybody you love is in the Delta
They're
Quadrant now.
dead.
Don't even bother. They're all wiped away.
Well, we're waiting. Leave him alone, Neelix. He's got a job.
Like in this particular case, Tuvok's logic is perfectly sound. There is no actual
None.
reasoning to read it immediately.
Yeah, but you know, when the Amazon package comes, you rip it open, right? So
Yeah, but that's entirely emotionally driven, and that's a pretty
That-
good example of Vulcans having no emotion.
I mean, he's got to love his wife and kids.
No, you're gonna ruin the message from his wife.
No way.
Is that logical? I still don't know how Vulcans work. Prayers to who? What do you mean? What are they praying to?
The Katra of that priestess.
They're praying to the ghost of T'Pau?
Yeah. Yeah, Neelix, we don't need the commentary. You just volunteered to read the letter. Can you sit down? If you want to read, just read.
But Vulcans
Well,
really...
Neelix, you do, but yeah.
I don't understand why Vulcans are religious. It seems to go against their whole shtick.
Well, you know.
Their religion
believing
doesn't
in a
involve
Katra, like they
gods.
could prove that a Katra is real. They've seen those.
Yeah.
But
There's like Eastern meditation involved in their religion. Also, like overcoming your sexual drive is kind of the Kolinar is becoming a like a Hare Krishna, I guess. Like you're just like many religions have celibate priests. But you're
are
right.
their gods the Greek gods? Because we know the Greek gods exist in Star Trek.
No, but you're very apt, Ryan. Sam Harris is a famous atheist writer, and but he does believe that there's so many benefits to meditation. So he believes like you should distill all the best practices from religion and like form a kind of a secular religion by meditate for 20 minutes every day, focusing on compassion.
Sad Janeway.
She's not sad.
He looks
I knew it
sad.
was this episode which we found out.
All right, time to start looking for replacement. Mark's out.
Mark's out, yeah.
I mean,
and she's keeping the dog.
Extremely angry Balana noises.
So not all the Maquis died, because Sveda's fine. Just most of the Maquis.
like the movement's dead.
Like, I think this is before Eddington's, like, noble sacrifice thing.
Like, it's kind of crazy that this is the last Maquis crew. Like, these are the last holdouts, and they're in the middle of nowhere.
And they're
In Delta
Starfleet
Quadrant.
now.
And there's and they work for the enemy. But like, they were the last true believers in the cause.
More than
So-
that to go there, but yeah, that's the general gist.
That line doesn't really make too much sense unless he just thinks Balana is forgetful, because they know who the Dominion are. They're very aware of it. Yeah, because in season 1, they do some simulations and they're fighting a Jem'Hadar ship in the simulation. We see... God,
I
I'm
don't
forgetting
think.
off the top of my
I
head.
think that was just reuse of assets, though. I don't think it was Dominion.
It was on screen, though.
This is the best
And the
acting of Balana's
Yeah, but that's
Voyager...
like saying that all the triangle ships are the same species.
Yeah, they are.
Like-
The Voyager takes place just after the search, where the Galaxy class ship was destroyed by the Dominion.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't know.
So they should know.
They should.
No, but you feel for Balana as a freedom fighter. Like when you work as a insurgent, you know, your little ragtag army is everything. So amazing acting by Roxanne Dawson, because it's always something I'll remember about her. Like she really brought a lot of emotion to that scene. When I was a teenager, go ahead.
Doesn't mean anything to Tom. Because Tom...
Yeah, no, I mean, he did it for money, right? He worked for the Maquis for like a minute.
There's got to be at least one meme of these letters where they pick it up, they read it, it's been anticipated for years, and it just says, "We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty." That's got to exist. Someone must have made that.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a bullion. There was a whole episode about his overbearing mother, like driving their only child to be successful.
He's hoarding them for himself.
Yeah, he's making sure people aren't getting their letters.
Neelix is reading all of them first.
Probably a wrong person to give the mailbag.
Your family doesn't love you. Maybe your family would love you more if you got a promotion. So the lodged in the station just means they saved the MP3 to their hard drive on the station.
I think it was saved into the buffer and wasn't able to be sent on.
So it's in RAM.
Yes.
That's not a good place.
Yeah, but I hope there isn't a power cut.
Yeah. It's kind of intense how desperate they are for these letters. It's like they're all on edge, tense, upset, emotional.
Is he though? I don't see it.
You remember his nightmare where she kisses him and presses him against the wall and says like that's like burned in his head, where she keeps she keeps ordering him to take off his clothes. He wants to be told what to do by her. Like he's already announced I'm not getting one. Why is he like asking for them?
Will he though?
Really there?
He's just an ensign.
He didn't even get a funeral when he died.
Which time?
That's when they replaced him with the alternate universe Harry, who
Ah,
brought
that
the alternate
time.
universe Naomi. Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say it's like the whole Maquis thing. That was line. Lot of line. Of course, he still doesn't trust you. You need supervision. You tried to get the crew assimilated, Seven. We're not gonna give you a shuttle just by yourself. We're just okay. We're shooting the station. Good, cool. Do you, do you suppose this is hydraulics or they're just shaking? Do it in any of the shows? Do they use actual hydraulics for this?
The fluid's kind of expensive.
I'm I'm trying to split my attention and see if they're like shaking in the same ways at the same times. It's hard to tell. Was where's Voyager? Because Voyager can see this, right? They're not that far away. Or can we just go to warp? Can we just leave?
I forgot this happened so late into this episode. I'm
What?
going to have to disappear, unfortunately. But enjoy.
Don't tell me what to do.
Have a good day.
See you guys next time.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah, they don't need evasive maneuvers, I guess. Just go in a straight line and you'll be fine. Or not. Might get stunned. I mean, we all know who it's from, right? From his dad, Admiral Paris. Admiral Locarno, if you will. Is his name Owen Paris? It is Owen Paris. Wow. Figure what a twist. Who could have predicted? God, Tom, just read the letter. Tom, the letter's not going to say, like, Tom, you're such a disappointment. How dare you get stranded in the Delta Quadrant? It's all your fault. It's not going to. Come on. Also, Balana's not really one to talk because she very much does not want to give her father a chance. She has a whole episode about not wanting to talk to her dad when they get voicemails.
They really brought the character to life here. I just want to say, like, again, this is, I think, the peak of the of the character's story. Yeah, Tom, you're selfish. We know that.
It's his whole character. Why does Balana's uniform look more ragged than his? It's like peeling up. It looks like it was washed too aggressively or something.
He's the pretty boy. He doesn't do any work. Yeah, so back in the day, we had 14.4 kbps modems. And if you were really lucky, you had a 28 kbps modem. And then later, we had 56 kilobytes per second. So,
Chakotay, have you still not heard of the Romulans?
so they're trying to download images 1 pixel at a time, basically, like we used to back in the day. Because it's hard to explain to a young person now that we used to have a floppy disk that was 1.44 megabytes. And that was considered like a huge step up from the B drive floppy disks that were only 500 KB. And then when you jump from 1.44 megabyte to a CD, which was 700 megabytes, that was just like mind blowing.
Yeah, I noticed when Janeway started talking about the letter, she said it was from Mark. He was my fiance. Very telling use of the past tense.
Well, she feels better than he does because he just lost everybody he ever worked with. You know,
Yeah, but the people he lost were terrorists, so they barely count. They signed up to die. Oh god, is Janeway's dog okay? Because her dog was... God, what was it? Was it a golden? Or was it a...
yeah,
They don't live that long.
no.
Janeway's been gone 4 years. No, she was an Irish setter. How long do Irish setters live? Irish setter lifespan 12 to 15 years. Okay. And with future space medicine, it might go up to like 30. Maybe the dog's fine.
Don't tell me there's Hirogen in this quadrant.
There's Hirogen in this quadrant.
I like all the chains on the wall and the...
They have no sense of interior design. You can't just hang a bone from the ceiling and call it decor. There's no coordination.
You think she was talking about her outfit when she said
It's probably
this is
quite
the most
uncomfortable too.
Mm-hmm. Well, like Tuvok was lying on his back, and they had 7 like on her face.
Poor Hirogen. All he wants really is just he wants to have some fun.
He wants them to stop using his 3G data network.
They're not yours. What, a cup? Is that the relic? Oh no, that's the...
She thinks that's gonna like dissuade him, and he's like, "Yes, yes,
He's so into it.
challenge accepted." So they're just basically banging all the time.
What relics do they even get off a Federation shuttle? A pad? A hyper spanner? Or is that a Star Wars tool? I can never remember.
You know, these people truly understand Starfleet. Take relics, store relics.
Yes. Janeway's ready room, full of relics.
The biggest relic in Janeway's life is her relationship with Mark.
Bruh.
Don't hail them, shoot them. They'll love it. What are you even gonna offer them? You don't trade technology. What, are you gonna give them some snacks? Just gonna give them coffee to help them in their hunt, maybe.
I thought he wanted to hunt. Now he's like, "Don't be foolish.
He
Run
does,
while
but he
you
wants
can."
them to run so he can track them.
Okay, okay.
God, they're tall. I think that gets retconned later. Because Tuvok's standing up.
Yeah.
Later on, later episodes with Hirogen, they're just people with makeup.
Yeah, but these are true Alpha Hirogen.
No, they're Delta Hirogen. You get it? Because it's the Delta
Yeah.
Quadrant. It's like the Jem'Hadar.
Yes, we get it.
Remember the Jem'Hadar? They had the Alpha Jem'Hadar and the Gamma Jem'Hadar.
So, it's weird to think about a person the way we think about like carving up a cow. But basically, you could do the same thing. Like there is the chuck and the roast and the hind.
It's generally
Everything.
considered impolite to refer to a person as a relic.
Yeah.
It's rude.
If you cut up Tuvok, think of all the spare ribs you could have.
But in Catholicism, I was reading that Saint Thomas Aquinas, every time he was buried, they took him out of the ground again to take out like another bone. Or one time, someone even owned his skull as a relic. So you should be
Why?
careful because the bone of a saint has miraculous powers.
Are you
So
sure about that?
so in medieval superstition, like every country thought they had a piece of the true cross, some
But
wood of the original.
wouldn't that be blasphemy? That sounds like you're gonna get smote.
Oh well, yeah. To Protestant Christianity, yes, relics of saints is somewhat idolatrous. But in Catholicism, it was just considered like, look, the saint was a very powerful person and close to God. So having their bone, their
Jesus,
finger,
Tuvok.
their satchel bag, their items still carry some form of um, charismatic energy.
I should get a skull. Like, it doesn't have to be a saint skull. I don't care, but I should get a skull. Where do you get a skull?
Inside
So
your head.
for the Muslim holiday, we Eid we sacrifice a goat, and I remember when my family went to the butcher shop. You pick out the goat that you want, and I wanted the horns, so they gave me the top part of the skull with like the horns attached. So you can get a skull of an animal at a butcher shop.
I'm looking at skulldunlimited.com. They have a lot of skulls, but I'm not sure if they have. Oh, wait. There's a section for real human skulls.
Oh wow,
Oh, they're expensive. $1,800 for a skull.
that's what I'm saying. So all you do is you take a ram's horns and just boil it and then dry it. It'll be fine. Make some Muslim
Contains
friends.
13 teeth, mandible not included.
That's no
I don't know if
jaw,
that's
so
a
it won't
good
pop
skull
out.
deal. Who's your skull
Yeah.
guy? What kind of deals do you get on skulls?
Oh, I just talked to my local serial killer. He's got a steady supply.
What's the market rate of skull?
1,800 seems fair. You can donate your body to science.
Who said anything about donating? Human skull on Etsy. I assume that's probably a fake skull. $110? Yeah, probably not.
We're just gonna ignore the fact that they like overheated their antimatter injectors.
Ooh, I found it. Here's one with the mandible included. Nice. That's enough skulls. Harry, have you gotten a promotion yet? How much are you getting paid? Do you get good benefits?
Yeah, it's just all that crap.
If we need to talk to your boss, what's Janeway's email address?
He's like, nah, he doesn't. Oh, plot twist.
Were they dangerous? I mean, they could potentially be, but their whole issue is that they spread out across all of space. So you're fighting like one ship at a time. Okay. So, we need to airlock Chakotay. He literally
What?
just told Captain Janeway she drinks too much coffee. You can't do that. It's literally illegal. If they were at Earth, he would be sent to New Zealand for this. God, don't praise Neelix. It's been 4 years, Janeway. I thought you were dead. Janeway, look at who's... Okay. You can date Chakotay, it's fine. We know you love each
They're
other.
implying it so heavily, and they never used it.
They had the hot tub and the monkey.
But they never sealed the deal by doing
They're
the old
linking
lying
arms.
down
Look at
dance.
them. They love each other. Just kiss already. Come on. No, it never happens. Instead, Chakotay gets with Seven for an episode, and it's a whole not a thing, and it just goes away. And
Yeah, that's so weird that they shoehorn that in, isn't it? At the very end of the season, of the series, they're just like, yeah.
yeah, and then they do the same thing for Picard season 1. Seven
with
has a relationship for all of
Rafi?
5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes.
They're just holding hands and at the table, I guess, in the break room on the
Yeah.
ship.
Well, in the cargo
what's
bay.
the name of the
It's
ship?
all cargo bay. Anyway, 1 minute to pray. They do develop the relationship a bit more in season 2, but you know. It's alright. Just, it seems like Seven would be a hard person to hang out with. She has exactly 0 chill.
Who?
7?
7?
Yeah, she doesn't relax.
She seems alright to me.
There would be neither Netflix nor chill.
Yeah.
You know when you talk to someone and they take everything you say literally and they're, I'm actually you? That is basically any conversation
Yeah.
with Seven.
Also, press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. I wonder if I know we get at least one more triangle in Voyager, but I don't know where it is. I wonder if the Hirogen are going to hunt one down. Oh! Tony Todd, what's up, man? Haven't seen you in a minute.
The last time we saw Tony Todd, he was old Jake Sisko.
Yeah, I think so. It's been forever.
Or wait, was he Kern again after that?
I don't... Maybe.
In the episode where Worf had his memory erased?
Yeah, I just don't remember if that was before or after the Visitor. It might be after.
Have to find out.
I can't see Tony Todd as anything other than Tony Todd. Like, I played Half-Life Alyx when it came out, and there's an alien creature there played by Tony Todd. He starts saying something. It's like, oh, hey, Tony, what's up?
This is the guy that plays Worf's brother, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, one of Worf's brothers,
just
his
talking about
Klingon
that.
brother. Not
Kern.
God, what's his
Commander
name?
Kern.
Nikolai Rozhenko.
His actual brother, not his adopted brother.
Yes. Not the Russian who tries to, prevent the genocide of an entire planet. Yeah, they don't do this in future episodes. That goes away. They don't do the painting anymore.
Maybe there's only like a particular sect of Herosian that do this.
Big guns, though. Jeez. Big guns, big prey. Oh, this is 8472. That's why Tony Todd is here, because he's gonna go hang out with Voyager and is gonna be a main guest star. Other Herosian is here to just die. Tony Todd is here to be a guest star.
Did you say this Herosian's being arrogant?
Well, that's the whole species.
Well, they have a respect for their prey, but like, I guess this one doesn't respect his prey enough, as he underestimates it.
This does look like a different cave. What's
It's
up with
Picard
this?
cave, and the rocks fall on his head.
My God, it's CGI. Got him. Why didn't the Borg try that? Just shoot him. It worked so well.
The Borg were fighting space
mean,
battles. They weren't fighting.
They
human.
had to shoot. They had to shoot that thing like 100 times. It would be like one shot would kill a human, and it's only stunned. I'm sure, isn't it?
A perfect victory.
How do the 8472 eat? Don't seem to have mouths.
They just absorb the ether of the universe because they're one of those big special species.
Oh, boring.
They eat sunlight and starlight and dust.
God. Can you get one of them in my room?
You want dust in your room?
No, I need an 8472 to come and eat it all up.
Ah. All right, have a good day at work. The week shall perish. You don't want an 8472 roommate.
Who's going to work?
Species 8472.
Oops. I meant to turn my volume up and I muted myself. Who's going to work?
What's what?
Species.
Speak
Who's
up,
going to
man.
work?
Who's going to work? Someone said they were leaving for work.
No. This was a hypothetical situation where someone had an 8472 roommate.
Oh. Like Chakotay in that one episode.
See, she says please. Who says seven's rude?
She's reading off a script, dude.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, 7 doesn't do puns. Seven also doesn't do sentiment, Doctor. What are you doing? Point of order. The doctor said that was a second nature. He doesn't actually have a first nature. There's no nature involved. It's awkward because he wrote it, awkward doctor. You don't get to... God, Voyager goes through as many nurses as it does shuttlecraft. Trying to guilt her? I don't think that works. Honestly, I kind of want the book, though.
Bridge banter for beginners.
Yeah. Monotanium. Pathetic.
Ugh. That's like worse than metal we have now.
Is that... What's the difference between monotanium and titanium? Not tritanium. Tritatinum.
Monotanium's fake. That's the difference.
Janeway, have you considered shooting them? Is that a triangle? No, it's not a triangle.
Wait, maybe. It may be modified triangle. It's the triangle with the Herodian skin.
I feel like... I don't think it's a triangle. It's really hard to tell sometimes.
Yes, I'm going to invade. I am Janeway, peaceful person.
Well, if she beams over, she can tell that ship to self-destruct. Think about it. She's got a plan. So apparently triangle ships exist in Voyager, in Warlord, which we've seen it, I'm pretty sure we counted, Drive, Flesh and Blood Part 2, and The Void. Because I'm not the only one keeping track of this.
Yeah.
Oh god, they beamed an 8472 onto the ship?
Yeah.
It's a bad strat. It's a bad build. A skull. You can get good money from that, apparently.
Vats of murky liquid with bubbles.
Is that like stew for the Herodians to eat?
I guess.
Or is that like cleaning the flesh off the bones?
Both.
Okay, wow, we solved it. Exactly what they were thinking. Though the way they describe it makes it sound like it'll be more like a soup than a stew. But 9 different flavors of alien. So that's not Tony. That's clearly not Tony. There's Tony. Probably. Oh yeah, that's Tony. Or, alternate idea, just leave. What? What? No, they haven't covered a lot of space. They covered the same space over and over again. I think this might be the first and maybe only instance of Chakotay actually trying to be an anthropologist. He's actually learning about an alien culture. Yeah, so just leave. How? What? What? How? How?
They docked with the ship, didn't they?
But how's it alive?
I want to know how they got first contact phaser rifles. And they're on the other side of the Delta
Ah, it
Quadrant.
was part of the letters from Starfleet.
I'm pretty sure that once they made first contact, these props ended up in the normal rotation before they made contact with the Alpha Quadrant again. They were supposed to have those
I just remember it's the
weird.
same rifles those 2 officers beamed on board with when they retook the ship from the Romulans.
The regular Voyager phaser rifles that look like Type 3 rifle on steroids. With like the 3 lobes. I never liked them. The episode
God, Tony,
where
why didn't you just kill it?
episode where she takes on the prisoners, they turn a cargo bay into a little prison. When the prison guards shoot those phaser rifles, they shoot like blue beams instead of regular phaser beams for some reason.
Ah, come on. He can try. Let him try. You'll love
That'd
to
be cool
bend and
to see.
mutilate.
You know when a game model does a candy wrapper effect, or like a twist and it goes to 0. I'd like to see that happen to the Doctor.
You want to glitch out the Doctor?
Yeah.
Or put the Doctor in a Bethesda game and his limbs just go crazy and fly all over the room?
trying to find an example of candy wrap error.
Janeway, that's barely even a threat. Humans have trash teeth for killing. We need to get better teeth.
Going your teeth is not about killing. It's about communicating.
But she's using it as a threat. Unless
It
that's
is a
a threat,
threat.
she's threatening to talk to him. I definitely feel like they should have little drones, little robots going through and checking this instead of officers for just this occasion. Wait, where's Tricote going? Wait, oh, Tricote has to go over there to do it because the other guy's an extra. And if they give him lines, they have to pay him more. So the guy's just there to be a prop. I'm down with this, though. Handing out rifles, handing out phasers, just, if you see it, shoot it. Give everyone a gun. Somewhat more of a concern, the fact that the computers apparently are not locked down by default. Wait, what happened? We just armed the entire engineering team. Did nobody shoot it? They had guns.
Nobody should.
Okay, they did shoot it. Your weapons are just awful. Got it. Maybe we could take the Hirogen's gun. Instead of walking around with phasers we just learned don't do anything. Wait, what? But the most efficient means would have been to destroy the warp core.
That
It
would
would
have
kill
destroyed it.
itself. Yeah. Well, maybe they should have put it in the soup. Well, it would have been fine if they used the soup.
How you doing?
Who's what doing?
How you doing, Rocco?
Who's Rocco? What are you talking about? Don't mute yourself, answer me.
I'm simultaneously in 2 different calls. And I got mixed up.
But is Tony Todd in the other call? Because Tony Todd's in this call. And he's pretty cool.
He's not actually in this call. He's just in the video.
He's here in spirit. Oh my god. Is this the only time on all of Star Trek the artificial gravity fails? Okay, there's one time in Enterprise. There's one time in that Star Trek movie, but that's more because someone went and just turned it off, not because it failed.
Oh, the Hirogen were original to Voyager?
Yeah.
Okay, because I confused them. There was another race on D69. They were hunting like a prey species, and like that prey species
Those
was
were
extreme.
the
Husna.
Toth were the no, not the Husnock. The Husnock were the ones that Kevin destroyed with a thought in TNG. Tosk, not Toth. Tosk.
Thanks. Right.
They were the prey species. I don't remember what the hunter species was called.
But they had the same like armor kind of thing going on. Like their whole life was geared towards the hunt. Which is kind of interesting because before domesticated agriculture, we did have to hunt for a living. Like literally every meal that you ate had to be something that you had to figure out how to kill.
Really easy to kill berries. The Great Hunt for lentils.
Well, even berries, if you don't know that they were safe, it probably wasn't a great idea to eat them. So you have to be careful what kind of fungus, mushrooms, and berries you were eating. So it's probably better to like just kill a buffalo than like eat some berries. And then with the domestication of agriculture, you didn't have to. I mean, you still have to do the bloody part. You just didn't have to do the follow it for 20 miles part.
So Tony Todd here, I imagine his thought process is less that, yes, where are the hunters joining me to kill my prey, and more like, yes, distractions while I kill the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Meat shields.
Mm-hmm. But
Oh, Chakotay, come on, the ship's identical. You have one hallway. You've seen one hallway, you've seen them all.
Yeah, but there is a command during the hunt that it recognizes. But I was remembering though that so the Mongolians who conquered the largest landmass contiguous empire that the world has ever known under Genghis Khan, they were on horseback, very adept at being archers, and they could even shoot while they were retreating. But more importantly, one of their like religious hunt rituals was to surround a forest and kill every single thing like within the circle that their army made. And so, eventually you'd get like the deer, and eventually finally you'd hit like the lion or the bear. And so, you'd be pretty good at killing wild animals. So people are not that hard once you know how to kill a wild animal. Not that you should kill people or endangered species.
I would
But if you
really
want
like
to
to suggest that these people just open up all the airlocks, but apparently that doesn't
Yeah.
work on 8472. Apparently you can't suffocate them.
It's floating brown stuff. If they put in some night vision goggles, this would be totally Alien versus Predator. Or just Predator. Sorry, not even Alien. Because they're hunting something that's so much more advanced. You know, same thing in like in Enterprise when they're looking for Suliban. That looks like Alien, by the way.
Shoot it. Finish it off. Kill it. Do it, Tony. Yes, good. No, Tom. Come on, man.
I didn't see Hirogen like set his weapon to stun when he shot Tom.
Yeah, but Tom's a main character, so it doesn't count.
Tom has a EVO suit.
Yes, good plan. Okay, we give Neelix a phaser. We tell him to hunt the Hirogen and the 8472, and just stand back. He'll be ripped apart. He'll provide a distraction. It's perfect.
And you can evacuate the ship. He's like
Let
exchange your
Neelix
spatula.
distract the beasts.
Like, you know, the writers are really like going to town. They're like exchange your spatula for a phaser rifle. You know, one interesting thing I was telling a coworker of mine at work, who we both talk about the new Game of Thrones show all day. But in Hindu mythology, when a king or like a noble goes on a hunt for deer, you place yourself to be susceptible to nature as well, because like how do you know a tiger isn't hunting you while you're hunting the deer?
And when the royal is killed by nature, the thing that killed it becomes the new king. Yes? Right?
I forgot what happens. Oh, he finds a wife who like is a fisherwoman. So, but you're always opening yourself up to unlucky stuff when you're hunting, because you're going out to take a life. It's kind of an intense thing.
Yeah, well, that's a natural consequence of the weak shall perish, Tuvok. He was weak. It's time to perish.
Vulcan telepathic abilities in the past batch of episodes has just been so written into canon. Like they can exclusively communicate just telepathically. They rival the Betazoids, or are just short of them in these episodes, because I mean we know they talk to whales and stuff. There were people in the chat who were agreeing with me. about species 8472 being helpless, harmless. Sorry. Here, it totally responds to reason. Like, we'll help you get home.
Shoot it. Finish it. Good. It won't fight back. Shoot it.
The Herosian was so wrong too. The Herosian was like, it's going to use its last breath to launch itself at us.
It might have done that to the Herosian.
Yes, now make it all dead. All right, Tony, calm down. Yeah, just let him kill it. Come on. God, Janeway's such a buzzkill. She isn't. She'll murder members of her own crew, but she won't murder this creature. My God, Janeway, come on. Just one murder, just to tide us over. It's been so long. Was it Christmas? Not Christmas. I don't remember this backstory at all. I don't remember Janeway having fought in a war.
Yeah, I don't remember Janeway being active in the Federation Cardassian conflict, but I guess that really touched everybody's life in the just pre TNG era. It's a good backstory.
No, Janeway, you're not there to help him. You're there to drag him back for the intel.
Yeah, there's one or two really amazing movies about Japanese and shows about Japanese soldiers during World War II, because they were always portrayed as, the worst, but U.S. soldiers actually admired them for their heroism and their fighting ability. So I really like this new wave of cinema that kind of shows them as like honorable in their own right.
Now, on the other hand, when's the next time we get to get a Janeway murder? We haven't actually murdered anybody since Neelix.
Iwo Jima is directed by Clint Eastwood, and We Were Soldiers is about the Pacific War. It's a HBO miniseries. Just like Saving Private Ryan was the Western Front of the war, this shows the Pacific Front. I mean, she wasn't this scrupulous when she destroyed the caretaker, right? But let's just Let's just move beyond that, right? We've forgotten that. It's okay to forget.
I
that.
haven't forgotten.
It's okay to forget it though. And she just left enough food for the Ocampans, right? For like 3 years.
She didn't leave anything. Janeway didn't do anything to help. She just left. She didn't even tell them that the caretaker was dead.
Okay, but she's on her moral high ground here right now, so we have to forget it.
Just kill it. Come on. In a few episodes... Okay, we actually get another Janeway, not just a murder, but we get a Janeway genocide soon. Where there's a species that is doing Omega.
Seven's entire MO though, as the reason she was assigned to Voyager was to destroy species 8472. So like that's why her agenda is so solidly against that creature. I grew up in Long Island, by which like I lived a year out there, like on the very tip of the Atlantic seaboard, and right next to there's a ferry to Connecticut and Rhode Island, and so it's a completely different part of New York than the city proper, certainly Queens. And they used to have like a lot of whaling community back in the 1900s. So for me, it's almost like species 8472 is like a sperm whale or like something that everybody wants to hunt, but she doesn't want to turn it into candle wax.
I think Janeway's playing both sides here. So Janeway is
Good
refusing to murder 8472 because she knows if she doesn't, she'll get to murder more Hirogen overall. Say, spare one to murder many. Though I can't help but notice she's not firing back at the Hirogen. She's playing the long game.
I think like one of Starfleet's things is once a species is like sentient enough, you can't, treat it like chattel or livestock.
Except for the times that Starfleet does constantly.
Well, yeah, but once you discover warp, you can't be treated like chattel.
Once you're advanced enough to be useful to the Federation, then we might consider helping you. But if you're just a sentient species that's just hanging out on your planet, having fun, nah, you don't deserve to be saved.
Yeah, you can destroy yourself with nuclear weapons. We're not too concerned.
Or a big rock from space.
Yep. Or your moon falling on itself. Man, these Hirogen are so badass. Pick up the Starfleet phaser rifle.
Which we know doesn't work against 8472.
But they're just holding it like a shotgun. So we're getting like, Arnold Schwarzenegger Terminator shotgun kind of stuff. No, this is really great because after like Year of Hell and like all those Borg sequences, having a cool new villain, cool new outfits, bringing back 8472, 87.
Would the nanoprobes work on the Hirogen? Because she's not currently armed with a regular phaser. That's a nanoprobe phaser.
Like,
feels like Tony's gonna die. Is Tony gonna die?
I don't think I'd be comfortable, like, shooting an arrow or a gun into a deer. Even though, like, there is overpopulation and it's kind of good to, like, make sure there's not too many deer because then we get too many ticks and Lyme disease. I wanted to, like, do duck hunting, but you have to get the dog for it, right? And so I wanted to train, like, a dog to, like, go and fetch the bird you shoot out of the sky. It's a very old sport. But
Did Did she just transport it to the Hirogen ship?
You don't strictly need a dog. It just
You don't need a
helps.
dog, but the dog is part of the culture, the historic tie. Like, so I was reading a book about how like you can train a bird hunting dog, like, and it was published in 1965, and you have to, like, the dog can't just chomp on the meat. It's just fetching you the bird, and then it drops it in your hand. It doesn't, like, you don't have to take it from its mouth. It doesn't drop it on the floor. So having your animal trained up to standard for the hunt. But hunting is a treasured pastime, I mean.
I feel like we shouldn't make a pastime out of killing things. Like, if we need to
But-
kill things to eat them, whatever, but I feel like we shouldn't make it a fun activity.
Okay, but I'd be fine with that, except the thing is the meat we eat goes through a lot more pain than just me shooting a bird out of the sky. So if we could fix that, I'd be fine with not hunting innocent animals.
I don't have a problem with the hunting. Hunting's fine, because you're going to eat the bird.
Mhm.
I'm just saying it feels weird to enjoy the act of shooting something.
Yeah, I hear you.
I mean, it's built into our code to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because all the humans that didn't enjoy it didn't do it as much, and they're dead now.
I feel like that our ancient ancestors weren't shooting things with a gun. Seems unlikely.
No, but they might have used bows
Or sling rock.
or spears.
They definitely would have if they could have.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
If they had a gun, they'd be like, "Yep, fuck these rocks on sticks. Give me the gun."
Yes. But with a spear, it's a pretty amazing instrument because killing a whole woolly mammoth, your whole tribe can eat for like days and days and days. Delicious blubber.
I don't think she needs your authorization. I think she literally just proved she can do what she wants with your computer. You can override with Borg encryption codes.
What did she do again? She attacked the hero. She wanted to kill.
She transported the Hirogen and 8472 to the Hirogen ship, which is what they were asking for.
Okay, which saved the ship from complete destruction.
But did condemn 8472 to death.
I express against the captain's express orders to protect that innocent life.
Yep. Well, innocent is a strong word.
That thing didn't do anything to anyone.
The weak shall perish.
It didn't even say that. The other one said it. She did save the ship, like as you mentioned at the beginning of the stream, Ryan. Like, if what you did serves the Federation's end, there's no way you're getting punished for it. Like when Kirk steals the Enterprise, you're not
The
allowed
Federation
to
only
commandeer.
cares about rules when it benefits them.
Like, how can you commandeer the flagship of the fleet?
Really easily, actually, apparently.
Multiple times, actually.
Yeah, it's fine. Not a big deal. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that's the last episode. The week have perished, so that's all good. What's next week? Next week is Retrospect, which is... It's been a while since I've seen it, but here's what I remember. It's supposed to be a morality play about believing victims of sexual assaults, but then it ends up that Seven just made it all up in her head and accused an innocent man and ruined his life and caused him to commit suicide. So, not exactly the morality play I think they were going for. So that's fun. And then The Killing Game, where everyone is turned into World War II era fighting Hirogen Nazis. It's a whole thing. The Hirogen take over the ship. They turn the whole ship into a holodeck, and it's a World War II simulation. And the Hirogen are the Nazis, and they're the French resistance, and it's weird.
You know, however weird it is, Voyager did it really well. The Civil War battles and the World War II battles.
It's a good episode, good two-parter. But it's really weird.
There's more than just the French resistance simulation. There's the Klingon section and had a couple.
Neelix with the blood wine. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's mostly World War II, though.
Who doesn't love Star Trek and World War II?
There's a lot of World War II in Star Trek. There's a lot of Nazis. It's not a real Star Trek show unless there's at least one episode about killing Nazis. So TOS is a real Star Trek. I don't think there are any Nazis in DS9. Voyager and Enterprise. Those are the only real Star Trek shows.
No, in the Bell Riots, right? Aren't there Nazis occupying Brooklyn?
No? What? No, the Bell Riots was like 2024.
Okay, sorry.
You got the Enterprise episode mixed up with the Bell Riots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Enterprise has Nazis occupying Brooklyn.
Okay, thanks.
Cardassians are space Nazis, that's true, but they're not Nazis. There have to be specifically German, like SS uniform Nazis. I think those are the only 3 series with Nazis in them.
I mean, the whole Dominion War arc was World War II, and maybe with a bit of Korea where MacArthur comes back and he wins. But, you know, it's like the Romulans entering the war is like the USA swinging the tide of battle. It was thick enough that you don't... The metaphor is thick enough without you needing literal Nazis in the alternate universe.
So anyway, yeah, the next week is going to be a concerning morality play where they didn't quite hit the message they were intending to, and then Nazis. So should be good. And that's it, the stream's over. Go away.